The first one, honestly, and it's super simple, but um, it, it's really both of them are about a litmus test. Okay, because I think like nobody's going to out culture the leader, right? Like nobody's going to believe in what's happening more than that person. So I think this is very top down, right? Like you've got to go to that place where you're getting curious. First thing I would say is if you're worried that like you don't have a culture that supports and is really taking care of people, or if you believe you do, then do this. Go up and give someone an authentic compliment. Okay,
Mm,
just go up and give them a really authentic compliment.
it's so
If
simple.
they blush and don't know what to do with that, you might not have a culture that does that very well. Okay. It's probably not very normal to hear that. And it's not in the world because we get so focused on everything we're doing. Doesn't mean you don't care about people and your culture's a horrible culture. Like, bring it low. We're okay. Part
Just
of
means it
getting
hasn't
better is
hasn't been
progression.
normalized. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But when we have a culture that people feel appreciated, you'll say that stuff and the response will be, "Ah, thanks. Thanks." And so that's one thing. The second part to that that could take you is having cultural feedback loops. Okay,
Yeah.
so these are things we do every 90 days. The focus is we ask questions about culture. And we don't say how's the culture? They don't Nobody's going to understand that.
Yeah.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how's the culture? Like no, like ask questions you don't want to know the answers to. Okay?
Specific.
Oh, very specific. So let's what are we doing right now that's missing the mark? What
Mm,
ways are we not serving our customer? That one sounds very focused on the business, but it's not, you
mm-mm.
know? Um, what's one way you've been supported by your direct person above you? What's one way you've been supported by them recently?
Yeah.
What's one way that you feel like they've missed the mark? Like and start developing all of these questions and then just send it out to your team.
Yeah.
And maybe not everybody will come back. I stay away from vague questions, okay? Make it really simple to answer. If you ask these things in person, I would say watch for the pause. Okay. So as you're talking to someone and be like, because you can do this naturally too. Like I'd be like, hey, Dustin, things, hope things are going well. What's an area that you think we're missing it on? And if they quickly like are like, yeah, I don't think anything. Like, okay, good. But if they're like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. There's
again,
something there.
excavate. Like
Yeah.
you want them thinking. You want them to
Hmm.
think through, yeah, there is something off here and we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, you want your culture to grow the best, then you're going to have to work it hard. You're going to have to go into the field, remove the rocks. You're going to have to get teammates who are like, yeah, we want the best produce. So let's spend time tilling the soil. And you're going to have to do I mean it's not easy. Okay? They're simple things. It's just that common sense isn't always common action. Okay?
Mm,
And so when we can get to a place that we're doing these things and we're getting into these cultural feedback loops because we care, not because we want our ego stroked. And tell people that like, hey, I don't want you to give me what I want to hear right now. I want you to be honest because for us to be successful, we got to have truth here and we got to have the best product. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
those are a couple things. The one
That's
with the bonus, of course.
Yeah, that's a great answer. What I want to highlight there was something that was kind of unspoken, that Blake shared with us there. It's something that I say, or that I've heard before, and I often repeat, is that great leaders ask great questions.
Mm,
And you don't have to be up at the top of your org chart to be a leader. You can lead from the bottom up. So here's what I think. Here's what I think I would add to that practicality that Blake just gave you, is obsess over asking great questions.
that's good. Mm,
Obsess over asking great questions. Every time you think, man, I would really love to know what our team thinks about X, or I would really love to have this conversation or excavate, like Blake said in the construction analogy. I'd love to excavate this kind of culture topic with our team right now.
yeah.
It is highly revolved around you asking great questions, because
Mhm.
you can ask some really simple questions that have a non-simple answer, which is great. And don't, I say don't overthink it, but I would obsess a bit over getting the right question. And you're gonna, when you first start this, you're gonna kind of fumble through it, and you're gonna
Mhm.
ask some questions, and people are just gonna answer with a yes or a no, and you're gonna have to ask them to expound on it. And the vulnerability that comes with that is takes time. You can't enter this conversation or send out your first questionnaire and
Right.
expect amazing results. But
Yeah.
the more you do it, just like anything else, it comes with reps. And so just begin to obsess with asking great questions is something that I learned a couple years ago that I've just been thinking a lot about.